Chapter 2. All Military Branches Structure and Reserve Components. Here is an overview of U.S. military branches. The United States Armed Forces consists of 6 military service branches. 5 operate under the Department of Defense, DoD, the Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, and Space Force. The Coast Guard normally operates under the Department of Homeland Security, but can be transferred to the Department of the Navy during wartime. Branch-by-branch summary. Branches consist of the active component, the reserve component, and LOD regulations for Army, Active Army, Army Reserve USAR, Army National Guard ARNG, Army Regulation 600-8-4, Navy Active Navy, Navy Reserve USNR, SECNAV Instruction 1770.3, Marine Corps, Active Marines, Marine Corps Reserve USMCR, Marine Corps Order 5800.16. Air Force, Active Air Force, Air Force Reserve AFRC, Air National Guard ANG, Air Force Instruction 36-2910. Space Force, Active Space Force, Guardians, no reserve component yet, DoD Manual 1332.18. Coast Guard, Active Coast Guard Reserve, USCGR, Combat Instruction, M1000.3. Active Duty versus Reserve or National Guard. The key LOD differences. Understanding whether you are active duty or reserve guard is foundational, because it determines how the LOD process affects your benefits. The key distinctions are military category, active duty, reserve, National Guard, or Air National Guard. LOD status. Reserve members are presumed in LOD automatically, which must be formally documented. TRICARE coverage is continuous while on active duty, but only during duty or if LOD approved. Is a LOD form required? Yes, even if misconduct, being AWOL, or if existed prior to service is suspected. Yes, a line of duty is always required. IDES, Integrated Disability Evaluation System. Eligibility is triggered by a medical profile, P3, P4, a P3 or P4 medical profile, DA Form 3349, indicates a service member has significant or severe permanent medical conditions that prevent worldwide deployment and likely do not meet medical retention standards. These profiles, often lasting longer than 12 months, trigger a mandatory medical evaluation board, MEB, to determine fitness for duty and potential disability separation or retirement, and require an approved LOD first. In-cap pay is non-applicable if already receiving military pay. Incapacitation pay replaces lost civilian income during your recovery. The 8-year rule applies after 8 cumulative years of active duty. The same rule applies if 8+ years of active service. The 8-year rule typically refers to the total military service obligation, but a specific 8-year rule regarding disability applies to service members with over 8 years of active service, not necessarily continuous, who may qualify for disability compensation, even for pre-existing conditions. This differs from the standard 8-year military service obligation, which mandates that all service members serve a total of 8 years combined active duty, reserve, or individual ready reserve time. Key points regarding the 8-year mark in the military. Military Service Obligation, or MSO. By law, under Title 10 of the United States Code 651, all individuals entering the armed forces incur an 8-year total obligation. Active versus inactive ready reserve. If a service member leaves active duty before 8 years, they are typically transferred to the inactive ready reserve, the IRR, to complete the remainder of their 8-year contract. Medical rule, 8+ years. Soldiers with more than 8 years of active federal service who are processed for disability may have their pre-existing conditions, existing prior to service, or EPTS, considered for disability retirement, non-regular retirement, according to DoD Instruction 1215.07. Cumulative active duty time in 90-day increments can reduce the age required to receive retired pay below the age of 60. The 3 LOD outcomes. Number 1. In line of duty. In LOD, an in-line-of-duty finding is the outcome that unlocks the full spectrum of military and VA benefits for the condition. This finding means the military has officially recognized that the injury, illness, or death occurred during qualifying service. Benefits triggered by an LOD finding. TRICARE coverage for the LOD condition, including follow-on care after orders expire. Incapacitation, INCAP pay, for Reserve Guard members unable to perform civilian employment. Entry eligibility into the IDES MEB-PEB Disability Evaluation System. Strong service connection evidence for VA disability claims. Access to military medical treatment facilities, MTFs, for the condition. Potential eligibility for disability retirement if the condition is severe enough. Not in line of duty due to own misconduct. This finding means a formal investigation determined that the member's injury, illness, or death was proximately caused by the member's own misconduct. This is the most serious LOD outcome and eliminates nearly all benefits for that condition. Conditions that may lead to not an LOD finding: injury occurring while intoxicated or under the influence of controlled substances, intentional self-injury other than in the context of a mental health crisis, injury during unauthorized absence, AWOL, criminal conduct directly causing the injury. Consequences: no TRICARE coverage for this condition, no INCAP pay related to this condition, cannot enter IDES for this specific condition, potential UCMJ action depending on circumstances. Important, you have the right to rebut a not an LOD finding. Document all evidence and consult a JAG attorney. Medical evidence showing addiction as a disease, not misconduct, has successfully overturned some findings. Number 3. Existed prior to service, EPTS. An EPTS finding means the military has determined the condition predated the member's service and was not aggravated by military duty. This finding is more nuanced than a misconduct finding and may be contested. EPTS contestation options. Medical evidence showing the condition did not exist before service. Evidence of service aggravation. Condition worsened beyond normal progression. The 8-year rule, 10 U.S.C. Section 1207A. After 8+ cumulative years of active service, pre-existing conditions are legally presumed to have been aggravated by service, automatic in LOD. VA service connection can still be established even with an EPTS finding if aggravation is shown. This concludes Chapter 2. Next, Chapter 3.